Hello. Welcome to Bad Board Games. Yay. He's the goat.
I was going to say, as we identified in the last video, I am bad at board games, but I'm going to go back to he is bad at board games.
Yes.
Unless they're two players.
Where's the, what is the thing I'm looking for?
I don't know, a brain?
That was a joke.
Friends, welcome to Bad at Board Games, where Brad exists to solely annoy me. And anyway, I feel like this is like a kindergarten classroom.
I can't find the one I want to find.
I'm glad for that.
Is that it?
I wish I could find.
Hello and welcome
That's
to
it.
tonight's show.
Wish I could find the mute button. I don't know. What's my favorite color? Fitting. Very fitting. So, with that said, friends, we are coming at you.
We'll never fight because I just touched you. This may be the best day ever.
I'm glad it is for you. I need a wall. Can
All they want us to do is start the list.
You know how like sound sounds better when you're isolated in a sound booth? Can we get isolation booths for the channel? One for you, one for me.
I was so expecting you to move, and you didn't.
So I don't even know where to go from here.
Number 50.
Number 50. So we are going through our top 100 games of all times as of January 2024, and here we go. We are at number 50, and my number 50.
Did you know 70% of you aren't subscribed? Hit that subscribe button. We do fun board game stuff here.
Okay, so let's kick it off. Number 50. For me, my number 50, a game I do not own, and I'm spoiled because I've only played the deluxeified version.
Is it deluxe?
So it is upgraded. How's that?
Okay.
I don't know if they have a deluxe version. So the game, let's start with that. It is the Quacks at Quedlingberg, a game that I put off playing for quite a while. It was kind of a game I wanted to maybe try, but I never was so motivated. I didn't think I would like it. Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's the puzzly aspect of it. You know, it's
Push your luck.
Yes. It's, and there's, of course, I've also played it with people who have everything. They have the expansions. And so, some of the, I don't know what is expansion versus base game also, because we did play with, expansion pieces. But, the goals, the way that you are putting things together, what you're going for, those are the things that make it, it makes it a kind of low stakes, but at the same time, push your luck, fun game to sit down and laugh and play and egg each other on and see if their potion explodes or whatever it is that you're brewing explodes. But it's a lot of fun, and it's cool because you can go for different strategies with, do you want to go for like pumpkins or do you want to go for this? And those are the things that I think I didn't know about. So when I kept saying, I don't know if I really want to play it, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Had I known those things were in it, I think I would have been more
Tried it sooner.
Yes. Yes. So it is now on my list because I had never played it until last year, and I've played it a couple times now. I enjoy it. I do. And I think it would be one that, had I known about it before, I would have added it to my collection to be one of the games like for family and for, certain gaming groups to have available to be able to pull off and play kind of a lower to medium, push your luck, fun little unique game. But it is a lot of fun.
And it's not on my top 100, but if you want, I would say it's a definite top intro to the hobby game as well.
Yeah.
Like intro to bag building, intro to push your luck, intro to the hobby is definitely, I don't know if it'd be top 10 for me if I was picking intro to the hobby, but I think it's top 20 easily. My number 50 will probably always be in my top 100. It also is in there for heartfelt reasons. It is one of the games I played with my sons as kids, and it lasts longer than you think, and I would even play it now as an adult. You know, like I could play it with adults and be fine. And that's Gubs. So Game Right games are always light and, you know, reasonably priced, I would always say. Gubs is fun. You get these little gubs and you're trying to create them, and like you can spear other people's gubs to kill them or steal them or things like that. It's a fun, hilarious little game. And, you know, I don't know if I can get past all these moments with my kids to tell you, oh, you should go get it. But I think if you have, at least if you have young boys, this is a great game to get if you can find it. I don't know if they still make it. I don't know if you can just go out and buy it or if you have to buy it used. But I think this is a fun little game. It's called Gubs, a game of wit and luck. And it's a little bit of both. And it plays 2 to 6 players, 10 and up. But I like it a lot.
I have not yet played that, but Brad talks about it on like every list that's like this, and it's
yeah, it's like I said, it's I won't let that drop from my top 100.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I'm dead, but I'll have YouTube videos that'll still say it's on
there. Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Awesome. Moving on to number 49. My number 49 is a game I don't think he likes. I absolutely love this game. It is definitely retail, but it's on the hobbier side of a game for retail. It is cooperative, which I absolutely love, and it is horror theme that I absolutely love.
Nice.
So I have enjoyed this. I have not played any of the other versions of it. It is Horrified. I know they have like the American monsters. I know they now have the Greek monsters. They may have another version as well. I'm not certain what all they have that's come out with it, but just this basic one, I love the monsters. Like I love being able to play as, although they call him Frankenstein, but the monster and his bride, and Dracula and the Invisible Man, and
all the classics.
The Mummy, yeah, like all the classics. And you kind of feel like you're in the movie. You know, we tend to play on the highest difficulty, you know, as much as we can. So we throw as many monsters as we can out to be able to try to defeat at one time. But the typical cooperative game put into the nostalgia feel of these old classic monsters just makes it so much fun. And honestly, some of the nights when you're sitting down playing it, depending on your gaming group, we get into it with my friends Dan and Bridget. You have not met them yet, but we get into it, and just some nights it's almost scary when, you know, Dracula's getting so close to you and you feel like you're gonna die, and you know, there it is. It just kind of hits. It's kind of fun, yeah. So I actually painted up a version for my friends, for Dan and Bridget, and it turned out fantastic. There was a video where we did some photos of it at one point, and I'm going to paint my set as well eventually. At some point. Yeah, eventually. It was higher on my list, but I put them back in the box because I was like, I'm not going to get to that anytime soon. But yeah, Horrified, fun game in a box at a great price too. So my number 49. So
my number 49, I actually traded, but I still really like this game. Traded it for another game that's on my list, but is Bot Factory. So it's by Vidal Lacerda, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But it's Kanban Light. It's Vidal Lacerda Light, if you want to think of it that way. And I really liked it. The person I traded it with is a subscriber, Best at Star Trek. You know, we're thinking, we may trade it back. You know, it's kind of one of those deals. Hey, try this good game that I like. I want to try that. It's a really nice intro to Lacerda, and you know, it's cute. I like the cartoony robots that are in it. Toph kicks the crap out of me on this game. I have no chance, but it's a good game. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, I'm going to get it back at some point. But we were just trying to do a game swap kind of thing. And number 49, Bot Factory.
I don't think I put Bot Factory on my list. And I think the reason why is because I've got enough of Vital Lacerda's games on there and that have an absolute earned right to be on the list. I really like that game a lot.
It's a nice game. I mean, like what's nice about it too is that you get that feel of a Lacerda without it being like, without committing to a 2 or 3 hour game.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, it really does kind of like, oh, this has got some nice crunchy decisions in it.
Yeah. So let's move on. This is a game that Brad and I have not yet played together, but we've both played independently.
Number 48.
Yes, number 48, A Feast for Odin. Absolutely a game that it's everything I want in a game. It is long, and it's a beast to set up, but it's also very hard to see some of the things on the table, so I have taken photos of the different parts of the different boards so that as I'm playing it in my old age, I can zoom in and see what the little spaces are. Worker placement spaces. But I actually thoroughly enjoy this game. And you and I had talked about it a long time ago. And you were not really so much on board with it at the time.
Then this gets into like one of the reasons I don't like it when people say it's an essential expansion. Like you can't get the Norwegian expansion for this, which is supposed to group things together to make certain places more beneficial, right? That you're not supposed to go. If you're not a giant like super competitive person that knows all those spaces to avoid in this game, like it kept me from buying this game for a couple years because everybody's like, oh, I'll never play it without the Norwegian. Like, okay, well now you've made it so I'm not going to buy it at all. And then when I finally played it, I'm like, this is an amazing game. I don't care. Like they made it sound like it ruins the entire game by not having this expansion. It does not.
Yeah.
And you can't get it. And at least they finally, like this wasn't available either for a while. And they finally got another printing of it. I don't know if it's available now, but it sells out when they print it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I got it like in the spring when they finally got back to Miniature Market or Game Nerds or whoever. But like, you don't need it. You do not need it to enjoy it. Now you may need it to like become an expert at it, which is fine. And if I ever see the Norwegian expansion in a reprinting, I'm not going to pay $100 or $200 for it. I will buy it. But until then,
yeah,
this is great. Okay.
I think for setup, I don't know if I'd want it solo, but yeah, so much fun. So anyways, we talked about it a good bit, but this is Feast for Odin. If you've not played it, it's expensive. It's going to take a while to get used to everything, but I think it's worth it.
Have we done a review on that?
We have not. We've not played it together. We need to play it together.
I wonder if I've done a review on it.
You may have.
I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
It's sad I don't even remember.
If not, one of these days, Brad and I are going to play this. We need to do it at Gaming Group.
Well, we just played it at Gaming Group.
Oh, well,
you
of course,
weren't
I wasn't
here.
there.
Anyway, my next one is Ahoy. Yeah, that's horrible. But it's not the lid. It's the whole box and everything's going. Number 48, Ahoy. I lucked into this really because Leader Games didn't announce. They were secretly holding off announcing this at Gen Con a couple years ago now. I'm very proud of the intro video I did on this game, so go check out that review. But I really like this game. I think it's great. We've played it at 2. I don't think we've played it at 4. I know we've played it at 3. I played it at 2 a lot.
I have not
I know
played
we've played it at 3. Me and you've played it.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Liam have played it. So I know we've played 3-player. It's even on the channel, and people are calling us out for what we did wrong. But
of course. Surprise, we're bad at board games.
As it goes. The instructions could be a little bit more clear on this. I think this is a great game. They've come out with an expansion with a couple extra characters, but I don't know if I need any more asymmetry to this.
At that point, go root, I think.
Yeah, or but it's
or
fun.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I like this because it's not
it's
simple,
root light.
But
so as we talk about, like, it's kind of funny. Like I had Bot Factory, which is Lisboa light. This is Ahoy, which is root light. You've talked. Yeah. It's not on your list, but the Lisboa light, like. Yeah. It's kind of nice to have some of that flavor and that feel because you are winning asymmetrically different in this and getting your points differently, but it's not as hard of a learning curve as root.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Yeah,
so
it's a fun game. It was on my list.
Yep, you already talked about it, but it is my number 48.
Fantastic. So moving on to my 47, surprise engine builder. I was late to playing this game. And I enjoy it. It is Wingspan. They are now kind of leading the charts with the controversy of Wingspan.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, you're not allowed to make money.
How dare Stonemaier Games make a game that people want to play?
Look at all the Catans. Look at all the Carcassonnes.
Look at everything. I mean, Wingspan, I feel like I thought they were done. Like, I thought they were completely done. And now that not just reskin, but it's got a little bit of different flavor. I don't know much
They're
about
saying,
the worm.
but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, and that's fine. I don't know if I need it myself because I got enough other games that I don't get to play often that have that mechanic, that style, that feel. But I really enjoy this. I look at this as kind of a lighter weight game, engine builder that is accessible, and it's, I think, fun.
It's it's a good one. It's another good one for intro to the hobby.
Very much so.
Yeah, maybe not the first intro, but it's definitely right there on that, moving you into the next level. But all of you have probably played it. But like, I had no interest in playing Wingspan. I was avoiding it at game day. Like, Alex would bring it over and loving it, and like Toph's like, I think you're gonna like this. Like, I didn't want to sit at the table, so I finally played it, and I'm like,
forced him to play it.
I get it. It is a nice game.
Yeah,
it is a nice game. I've even played it on BGA, but the theme still just kind of like does nothing for me. So I might actually like Wormspan because at least the theme is something I would be like, oh, I'm doing dragons, and I'm taking these eggs and turning them into dragons and stuff like that.
I don't remember when I picked this up. I know I had played it before because I was on the same thing. The theme does absolutely nothing for me. Had it been now, I would have went for the Wormspan over the Wingspan just because of the theme. Birds do nothing for me, but it plays well. I enjoy the engine building aspect in a shorter game when you're getting to be able to build up an engine and you almost get the engine where you want it by the time the game is starting to end, and you're like, no, I need another turn or two. Then that's a game that
ended
I
it
want.
on a high note.
Yeah,
like, I want a couple more turns. But
so it's a fun one. So anyways, Wingspan. I am not a Stonemaier games hater.
And if you have BGA, you can get all the expansions on BGA for free, right? Like, it's a place to play.
If you do BGA.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do not, but yeah. So.
Alrighty. My next game is a much better version of a game that Toph loves. Significantly better.
No, negative. Nope.
Ark Nova is the superior terraforming Mars. I like saying that because it annoys the hell out of me. It may be worse than me, like, trying to touch him. Ark Nova, the superior terra.
Can't believe I did that. That's my game box
Mars.
I just threw my game box lid.
So that's fun. Thank you. We'll keep that one to a short.
Well, I talked about Ark Nova. It's on my list. It's a little bit closer to the 100 side, but and I even said it in my review. I'm not going to call it. I think I said in my review, I don't think I ever will call it. I might be okay with doing that at some point.
Yeah.
But it hasn't hit the table in a long time, and I need to play it again.
I play it on BGA now.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you would you did, I think, kick my tail when we played it.
No, you won.
Oh, did I?
Because we did enough. We played it enough in person, but you were always winning. Or Ashby beat us, I think, once.
Yeah.
As well.
I know.
So we've played it at 2. Like, I've played it at 3 on BGA. I've played it at 3 in person. We've played it 2 enough to be able to do our review on it. And it just didn't. It's not a bad game. Toph. It's kind of one of those when I did the 10 biggest disappointments of 2023. Some of those games weren't bad. I just had high expectations, and Toph had like, they're saying this is a terraforming Mars killer. Tom Vassell, godfather of all board games, is terraforming Mars killer, and for him it's not, and it's not. It's not a terraforming Mars killer. However, for me, I'm now on equal playing grounds with Toph versus Toph's. How many plays have you had of terraforming Mars?
Oh God, I have no idea. Now.
And he has a big giant like. You get overwhelmed with terraforming Mars. You don't know if you have a good card or you have a bad card. Like, if you haven't played it, and if you've played it with somebody who knows that, oh, I've got a good card or I've got a bad card, you're toast, and that's not fun. So
yeah,
your engine never gets going, and you're just seeing everybody else go like, oh, da, 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 So
yeah, I need to play it again. There were things I really liked about it. It was that expectation. It was that expectation of.
It's not my top 10. It's not like Tom's number 1 of all time. Like it'll never be that high. But no, it's a good game.
It hit the close to top 10 initially. I think before people played it because everybody said it's terraforming Mars killer.
But it's still a top 10 of all time on BGA.
Oh, is it still?
Yeah, I'm almost sure.
I don't know. The last I looked, I thought maybe it's just because I've learned to overlook it. So it very well may be there.
I'm gonna.
But it also hit there before people played it. Like that's yeah. Anyways.
Anyway.
So while you look that up, I'm gonna go on to my 46 if that's okay. My 46 is one that I'm sure Brad will be talking about at some point soon. And if you haven't, I don't think you have already, but Marvel Zombies.
Number 4, by the way, on our.
Is it really?
Of all time.
Okay, no, that's wrong. It's not. Not at all. Not at all. Nope. Nope. Good game, not that
brings me joy to bring him pain.
I do not agree. Do not touch. Stop touching me.
Why'd you put your hand so close?
I was holding the box.
You were trying to hold my hand.
No.
You saw him.
No. I'm going to throw this box lid in. It's not my box lid, so I'm going to actually chuck it. So Marvel Zombies, Zombicide game. I'm not huge in the Marvel theme necessarily, but well, now I will say this is probably going to continue to go up the more we play the X-Men. I love X-Men. This is a fun game. This is just mad chaos. This is not, I almost don't think of this as a board game. I think of this just as a, let's sit down, let's just have fun.
But if you don't pay attention, you die.
Oh, it is straight up a board game.
You have to Toph wants to go out and thinking he's Rambo and he's going to die. But you have to play this like Pandemic. You're not, you can't just mess around and go do whatever you want.
Yeah. It is, tension gets up, stress gets up a little bit. It's so much fun. But I don't know why. I kind of feel like, I don't know. It's the experience. It's the fun. It's just, it's the Ameritrash of the board gaming hobby. I think that's what a lot of people who like those games more than Euro games. I'm a Euro gamer. This is one of the few that I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
This is my favorite Zombicide. I've had others. I just and I haven't played Black Death now, mind you, but I love this. You'll see this later in my list.
I'm sure it'll be much, much higher in the list. So, anyways, that is my number 46, Marvel Zombies.
Cool. My number something or other, 46. I haven't bought it yet, but I love it when we play it. And this to me is a party game, and it's Cosmic Encounter, and this is the latest edition or whatever. It's a blast. I'm very happy with this intro as well, so go check out that review. But yeah, I think Cosmic Encounter is a great game. There is 50 different alien races you can have. They all give you a different kind of power. It's crazy. It's all broken as all get out. I liked learning the fact that they were trying to come up with something because Risk can, you can just beat up on somebody, but they don't let you just pick who you want to fight in or Cosmic Encounter. You draw a card, and then that card tells you who you can go fight. So that keeps you from being able to just gang up on one person. Everybody can win. The whole table won against me. They all tied for first, and I got last. What other game exists that can even happen?
Oh, it brought me so much joy.
Yeah, but but that's my point. Yeah. It is so much fun. Yeah. This has been higher on my list. I would say if we played it again, more, all these are the more you play them, the higher up it'll go on my list. I think for the most part from here going forward, right? There could be a few that are going to drop regardless, but this is a great game. It's been around so long. They finally got the rules right where they put it on the cards and helped people understand how to play it. So it's become more and more accessible. It plays at a higher player count. There's so many good things about this game. And I think the reason I haven't bought it, one, it's, I haven't necessarily seen it cheap. Wanting to be the cheap guy I am, because I'm not playing this every month. I'm not getting, there's other games like Marvel Champions I spend all the money on, but I play that every day. So there's things like that as well. But I think Cosmic Encounter is an absolute blast, and if you haven't played it, you need to find somebody that has it and try it out with a big group.
Yes, with a big group.
Yep.
Yeah. This is not on my list, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I mean,
it's like Dead of Winter. It's max it out, get 5 or 6 people to play it, and have a good time.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun to bring back.
That's my number 46.
Yes. My number 45 is a game by one of our favorite designers.
Absolutely.
I'm glad he knows what it is. Good old Alexander Pfister, Sky Mines.
Yep. So,
which, if I understand, this is a reskin
of Mombosa.
I have not played Mombosa.
Pronounce that right? Yeah.
Yeah, we butcher it all. I have not played that one yet. I really want to. I have been warned that if I like this, I may not like that, but I like this because of the mechanics, not because of the theme.
Yeah, and I think people like Mombosa because they know it and they don't really have to relearn any of the map or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it either. I would probably like this one. It's also space theme. I know there's they reskinned it, because of colonialism and all that. But I like this game, and then like the one thing you didn't like though is like you can take over. It's kind of has a bit of area control,
mm-hmm.
which then takes your components and puts it back on your board, so you start to lose points.
Mm-hmm.
But that is just part of the game.
It is. It's not something that I enjoy the feeling of, but that doesn't mean I don't like it in the game. Obviously when you're playing games, sometimes you're like, oh man, I hate when that happens. But then you think about it and you're like, but that makes a huge mechanical change if that is taken out of the game. Like it's needed. Otherwise
you can kind of just run away with things, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's weird because I don't like area control, but I can see it. And it's not an area control game. You're trying to go up the tracks, and then you're getting your multipliers. So you're really just trying to take over somebody's spot so that they don't run away with a 10 times 10 multiplier, and then at least you're getting some of that, right?
Yeah.
Or you might boost yourself on another track. So it's all trying to balance itself out. But this is not a fast game.
It is not a fast game, and it's not a fast build. Like it's a slow build as you play it. Like you're going to start out and it's going to be slow, and then all of a sudden you're going through it getting points, and you're seeing the end in sight. It's a game that you cannot do everything in, which I always love. And eventually you got to find a strategy and you got to go for it. You got to see which of the companies that you're investing in and how and why. And then you start seeing cards come out and you might have to change it up a little bit, or you see where somebody else is going for something. And now all of a sudden you don't have as much value in it.
Yeah,
so
you're not as powerful in it, or you're not getting the multiplier.
Or maybe they really are and you need to slow them down. So you got to change up. Yeah. All those things just make it I wouldn't say take that. I don't think of it as area control so much as, because it's a lot. It's a Euro.
Yeah. But it's one of his Euros and there's so much going on. You have a tableau and you've got a couple different tracks that you can go on. You have, and then you have all the multiplier tracks around the board that you set up, and those can change depending on how you want to play the game. And then I love the action selection that you've got these cards that you're buying more powerful cards from the market. And, it's always cheaper because it's moved down before it goes away.
But
I don't know if it goes away, but like, do you want to spend your money on the more, like jump the shark?
Yeah.
And then but once you play your card, it goes away for a while. Not until I can't remember, all these things, like I love
it. It's almost
the decisions it forces you to have.
Yeah. This is like the reasons why we like the higher Lacerdas. Oh, really? Any heavyweight game, heavyweight Euro game like this. Even to a degree, Great Western Trail, there's so many things that are going on, and
I would say this is easier. This is harder than Great Western Trail.
It is. It definitely is. Yes, yeah. But it's it's not one mechanic that's overtaking the game. So like it's programming because of the way that you're playing your cards, and then the way that where you're putting them down, because you can't change the order when you're drawing these cards back up to be able to play them again. So it's like those little things. I wouldn't call it a programming game, but it's got programming. It's not worker placement.
Yeah, that's what it is. You play 5 cards or however many cards you play, and then you have to put them in a different column, and then you grab one column to pick back up. So like this powerful set of 4 cards you just did now,
you're never going to get them all again.
Spread apart.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm like that. And then you're like, oh, I wish I'd have done this differently.
The tech tree, the engine building, it's just so many things. So anyways, that's why it is on my list. I think this would go higher on my list if we played it more, but it's harder to table these type of games.
I love this. I could play this more. There's no doubt.
I think you like this more than I do.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it. That's why it's my number 45. Sky Mines, Alexander Pfister.
Come on. Let's see. My number 45. Toph hasn't played it because I'm sure he won't like it.
Not surprising. There's a lot of games that I don't like that you do. Oh, yeah. Nope. Nope.
So one of my exceptions to area control is Kemet. Alex crushed at this game.
Not surprising.
He crushed at this game. I can't remember if it was Ashby we played with or Jamon, but I definitely came in last on this last time we played it. But I like this because it is, you literally are getting points for battle. It's like not, like have conflict, go do things, go out and try to do something, and then build up your tech, and then find the things that chain together to be like, holy crap, that's super powerful now that you've gotten this and this and this and this, or you got the scorpion with the thing and then this. Like, those combos are really cool and can make you very powerful, and you get very disgusted that somebody else saw that and you didn't. By then it's way too late. But I think this is cool. I don't know what else to say about it. I like the miniatures, but it's not necessarily a miniatures game. It is definitely an area control game, but it's different than Inish. It's different than Blood Rage. I prefer this over any of those.
This, if I understand, has a lot more conflict.
It does, but I still don't think it's no more than like, how Blood Rage has conflict at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that same thing.
Okay.
I don't know. There's certain areas, you've got a river and you can go from here all the way down to here, and there's limitations on how you can move, so you can't just it's not like Risk where you're I can go anywhere I want. Mm-hmm. It's interesting the limitations you have and the puts and takes that it constrains. But you are getting points for the conflict. So I like it.
Brad knows me well enough that if he says I'm not going to like a game, then
I wouldn't ever force you to play it. I don't if you ever wanted to when we were playing it, sure, but I wouldn't be like, hey, let's specifically get this to the table. And I haven't, this is high up on my list, and I want to play it enough to then be able to do a deep dive review on it, because everybody's done a review on it. So there's no point in me here it is, and this whole game, 2 people watch it, right? But, I want to get it to the table more to do a deep dive.
Yeah. I could see you doing here's a strategy.
Or something. Yeah. Or I get Alex here because he did way better.
Yeah.
Alex, what's your strategy?
Yeah. He's just good at board games. So awesome.
That's my number 45 is Kemet.
My number 44 is a game that I have played for a very long time as well. Absolutely love this game. I don't have all the expansions for it yet, but I do have what I think is one of the essential expansions, and that is Pandemic. And specifically, I love the game to begin with, but I love the On the Brink expansion. In the Lab changes it up. They've got these different expansions that do different things, but I love this expansion for it and what it adds into the game itself. But Pandemic, Brad talked about Pandemic Legacy recently. I've always loved from the first time I played at Pandemic, and I don't think this will ever come out of my collection or off of my favorite games of all time. I know you're not as big on Pandemic itself.
I could take or leave Pandemic, really, or leave. But then I like the loop. And the loop's it's taking Pandemic and turning it kind of sideways in a way that I like. So it's odd that I don't like Pandemic, but
you do like the Star Wars version, the Pandemic Star Wars.
When they did
game.
Star Wars, whatever, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't know why. It really doesn't feel like I'm playing Pandemic with that. But they are using the mechanism in a way that is different. And then you have the boss at the end that you're trying to fight. So I think that's some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Star Wars Clone Wars where they take the Pandemic mechanic, but don't think of it as I'm playing Pandemic with the same cubes. You are having robots. You do have a couple.
Yeah.
I do like the way that they. And I think one of the reasons I don't like Pandemic is you get stuck with a character you don't like. Honestly, there's only a couple characters I like in Pandemic, so if you get stuck with any of the others, I don't like it. Yeah. I don't like the game with some of those characters. I think that's my biggest thing. There's only 2 I really care to play. In Star Wars, I'll play any of them. Yeah. Whether it's Yoda or Obi-Wan or Anakin or Ahsoka. I don't that's probably my biggest thing with Pandemic. I don't like most of the characters that are in it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the operations manager,
moving somebody else around. Like there's just things I find boring.
Yeah,
makes me feel like I don't have a turn.
On the other hand, I like it, so it's on my list, and I will play most of those characters.
Yeah.
I will play all of them. I will like some more than others, but I love it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rag on.
No, that's okay. Hate the games that I like, but it's okay. So, no.
Probably it's still better than Terraforming Mars.
I'm going home.
Just agreeing with you on that. All right, my number 44. Sky Mines.
Good game.
We've talked about it enough, so I'm not going to belabor it. But played it at Gen Con, picked it up as soon as I could get a hold of it because they hadn't actually released it yet after Gen Con. I didn't know it was a reprint of Mombasa when I got it. I'm like, Alexander Fisher's got a new game. Yeah, so excited. So I mean,
it is. It is a new game.
I know, but I was still like, I had no clue. Knowing, not knowing, but I just didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
But because I hadn't heard anything about it, and then I saw this. I'm like, wait a minute, he's got a new game. It's probably because it was a reskin that I hadn't heard anything about it. But I was happy to pick it up, and it's a great game. Yeah. But I guess a caveat any of his games where it's Maracaibo or if you're going to pick up one of his games, I would start with Great Western Trail. I think it's easier than most of his other games.
Yeah, it's I would
that we've played so far.
Yeah.
So
we also
number 44, Sky Mines.
We also have played it so many times that
Great Western Trail?
Yeah, that I think where we almost see it as easier. I don't know if necessarily others may. I think that depends on what you're playing and how many times you're playing it.
Well, I literally think Sky Mines is harder.
Oh yes, without a doubt, Sky Mines is harder.
I literally think Maracaibo is harder because there's so much.
See, I think of Maracaibo
but it's not bad. But like that initial, like, holy crap, there's all these cards, and what do you do? And how do you? And you get the income. Like, I think Maracaibo is more difficult. There's more going on.
Yeah.
Maybe not Argentina level, but like just base second edition or even first edition Great Western Trail.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway.
It's fun. We love that game a lot.
We'll probably be doing a top 10 or our favorite. We got to play more of his games, but
yeah, I don't know if I
see
played
us doing a top ranking his top or our top 10 games of his.
Yeah. Awesome. We're almost that way with Lacerda.
Yeah.
So my number 43 is what I would say now is my go-to like introduction game for a lot of people with board gaming. And that is Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah. Dice Tower just talked about this I'm like, this is the people's intro to worker placement.
Yes.
And this was like one of yours to show me like the classic worker placement.
Yeah. I knew nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. I still don't know much about it. I'm terrible at that. I love this game. And I love this expansion, adding in some of the other places, especially if you've played it for a while. It really does kind of bring in more to be able to bring it to a little bit higher interest level. I think the base game
gives you more
can
locations
the base game, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But after a while, it's going to be a similar game. Yes, you have different quests, but it's going to be a very similar game. Whereas if you can start to add in some of these other locations, like adding in the addition of the they're not called skulls, but the skulls, I forget what it's called, corruption, as a resource that is negative to you, but you sometimes have to take it because it's the best thing for you to be able to do. Like, I love that aspect added into it. But, it's thematic, especially if you do get into thematic games. I think they've done a great job with this, where you feel like you can be an explorer going out. It also helps to have the fancy little meeples instead of cubes. One of my favorite upgrades to any board game, I think, is, with this game, you got cubes as your resources, which are actually the different types of workers. And it's like, why is a white cube a cleric? But now actually it looks like it's a little wizard, or it looks like it's a little, barbarian or fighter. And so it just makes it a little bit more thematic and a little more fun. But I love Lords of Waterdeep. We've played it as a gaming group once or twice, and we've really enjoyed it. I've played it a lot with some of my other friends, and it continues to come back to the table over and over and over again. So
yeah, and I would say the only reason it's not higher on my list is like I haven't played it as much, but then like you kind of feel like I'm not going to call it board game snobbery. This is a great game, but like you kind of like have evolved into I want a harder game, or I want a something else, or I want like you know, if I'm playing worker placement, I want a more complicated worker placement.
Although I'm kind of curious because you and I both right now are kind of in a state where we're kind of wanting and gravitating towards more of the medium.
3-weight.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe this would be something that we could see coming back out because we do love those heavier weight games. Absolutely would never want to get rid of like Lisboa or Kanban or any of these, but you know, adding in some of the lighter weight games, you know, that's why I love Viticulture so much. It's accessible, but yet it's still such a fun game.
Yep.
And if everybody is playing similar, you can really get into a tight game with it. So anyways, Lords of Waterdeep, that's my number 43.
Cool. My number 43, Toph has already talked about. We love it. It's Ameritrash. And the more you play it, the more you like it. It's not just the box lid. Project Elite is my number 43. I believe this was on your 50 level, somewhere in the 50s.
Yeah, I think it was on my last list.
So. And I'll caveat this is how I like it now is how I was hoping I would like it when I first played it the very first time. And it didn't. It was a disappointment the first time. And grudgingly brought it out a second time, liked it more. Brought it out a third time to see if I liked it more. For like, the more I've played it, the more I like it. I don't think the rules are horrible, but I think the rules could be a little bit better, just the smidge. But once you start to understand the little things with like your dice and locking them in and all those kinds of things, and then just the chaos of it, we play on the hardest level now. You know, and like, you know, you barely win or you get obliterated or something like that. It's the journey of it is fun.
Yeah. And a lot of those games end right there.
Yeah. I mean, like, Marvel Zombies is more strategic. This is more chaos.
Yes.
Right. You know, you're trying to be strategic, but you like that all goes out the window. You're just trying to get the best. How fast can I roll these dice? Can I get this thing? Can I do that and kill these guys? And blah, blah, blah. You know, like, and
there comes a time when you can't do. I think maybe that's why I like this game. This is an aha moment. You have strategy. You have to go after these objectives and things, but then all of a sudden you are just swarmed with aliens, and it's like, objectives be damned. Like we gotta kill things because otherwise we're gonna die.
There's no idea. Like, how am I gonna get that objective to even win this game with all these guys in here? And like the next round, like, am I ever going to be able to try to get over here and do this thing over here and not die in the meantime? But sometimes it works out, and sometimes it's just like
it doesn't.
Gives you the finger. So that is my number 43, Project Elite.
So much fun. My number 42, Brad has already talked about. It was on another list of his, and that is Richard Garfield's The Hunger.
Great push your luck game, deck builder, horrible rules. By horrible rules, I mean the instructions and how they tell you to play the game. Are crap.
Once you get to know the game, we love this game. We don't pull it out to the table quite as much anymore, just because of the volume of games that we either want to learn or other people bring in, because everybody's collection is growing in our group. But when we pull this out, absolutely everybody has a good time with it, and
plays up to 5.
It does. That's the other thing that's good about it is it'll play that extra. But it's thematic, it's fun, it's a good game to introduce people to because it does have some complexity to it, but at the same time it's very teachable once you know how to play.
Yeah.
And if you watch our video, we might have made some mistakes. I know when we first started playing it, we did. But
I don't remember now, but I think that video is probably really horrible to watch, so don't.
It was a while ago. Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. Maybe we didn't. We might have gotten down by that point in time.
I would say
we've been known to miss a rule here or there.
That happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So the next one, is by the same designer that did Endless Winter. I haven't played that. I really like this. I like the price point. Kickstarted it. Kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people, but I've seen it pop up. And that is Resurgence. So I kickstarted this. Who's the designer? Not anywhere.
At one point I knew, it's not on the box. I think we found that out when we were...
This is his company too, which is funny. So it's by Half Kingdom Games. The designer didn't put his name on the box. Oh, Stan Kaczynski. I can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Kardonsky.
Yeah.
He created Half Kingdom Games, and I think this was his first under his own publishing company. Endless Winter was, I can't remember who the publisher was for that, but I really like this. This is, is it area control? I mean, it's a bag builder. You have hidden resources coming out of your bag. You're upgrading that bag.
Yeah.
And then you're buying workers or buying things from a market, and then you're going out. And it's not area control, but if you're going to go somewhere where somebody else already is, you have to pay double the resources or something like that. It's more difficult to go there if somebody beats you to an area. And then you're trying to unlock your tableau, your bunker, and then the game's over. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah,
you wanted the game to be longer.
Yeah.
So
it's got so many things. I think I already talked about it.
You did.
Okay.
It was
I know it's on my list, and I think either surprised it's coming up soon.
I don't know if in your 70s or 60s, but
it was up a little bit higher. But it's got so many things that Brad and I both, from the very beginning, we knew we liked it. And it's unlocking your board and upgrading and like your tableau, so your bunker that you're building through. You can't do everything. You gotta find a strategy and go for it. And I
it's
do.
a cool mix of mechanics, and it's like I said, I was surprised. This is another one I kickstarted, and it was like $50. And it wasn't much for shipping or whatever. It was some of these fly under the radar, and then they don't do well. They're not giant,
but they're great games.
But they're great games. Yeah.
Yeah, we like this one a lot.
Yep. So Resurgence is my number 42.
Awesome. So last games of this list
of the week.
Hey, remind me. There's some games that we've played and I've won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some games you would say that I stomped you in.
There are definitely some of those.
Okay. I want everybody to remember that. Please remember that. Because my game...
This must be a loser.
Number 41 is a game that I've never beat Brad at, and that is Race for the Galaxy.
You didn't win the last time? I think you won the last time.
Wow.
I think you did.
Mark that down.
I was crushing him. I think it finally started to click with you. I think you actually won the last time.
I think it did. I think finally, yeah.
You play anybody online with this game, though, and you'll get stomped. People know all the cards again.
Yeah. It's an older game. Those that have been playing it, I think, continue to. I don't think it ever falls off anybody's shelf once you get to like the game. And I only have the base game. I don't have any of the expansions with it. But I don't know it well enough yet to need anything else. Yeah. Clearly, I lose this game a lot. It's the revelation that Brad has brought to my attention multiple times. I'm bad at 2-player games.
This does play 4. It'd be interesting to play it 4, but I liked this game. It's not on my list this year. This was definitely one that's it has fallen off. I believe it was on there last year. I like it. It is fun. But I couldn't even tell you why. Everything else I'd prefer to play. This versus something else, I want something else.
Yeah. And that happens. Our lists, both of our lists this year have greatly changed up. But,
but that's a great game.
Yeah, this was a fun little find. I was wanting it for quite a while, and I finally found it used somewhere, maybe at one of the local conventions or something like that. And
I want to try Roll for the Galaxy as well. I'm curious to see what the dice rolling brings into this whole mechanic.
Yeah. I don't know much about how it plays. I know this game is iconography a lot, and that is going to bring in even more of it. I don't know if it's the same icons or different.
One of these days, that's all.
I don't know. But we like Tom Lehman games, obviously. I mean, I've already had some on my list today in this video. So, but yeah, a Race for the Galaxy. Maybe Roll will be good. If Brad buys it, then I'll play it.
Number 41.
Number 41.
All right, my number 41, and then the last of this list, the last of the week. So tune in next week when you get to see more.
I'm curious.
I like this game. I liked it I haven't played it solo. Toph likes it solo. He also liked it when me and Ashby played. Ashby had this first.
Oh,
he taught it to me wrong.
Yeah, he did.
Ashby played it solo, and then
it plays different solo.
He basically gave us the number of corruption or whatever that is, and for one player, not 3 players. So the game was over in 30 minutes or something. I told Toph, I'm like, there is no way. No wonder everybody hates this game. This game, I don't even know how you could win. And then he came back. Like the next time we played him, I'm like, I messed that up. So
the night that we played this, funny story.
You were playing something else.
It was the first time I was playing Wingspan, and Ashby did a teach. We had already played a game of Wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
They started playing this game, and before we finished, I think we played 3 games of Wingspan maybe. And so by the time we played 3 games of Wingspan, they had finished 2 games where they lost of this or something.
I don't
something
know.
like
it was
that.
real
Whatever
quick. I'm like,
it was,
let's play something else.
Or maybe it was our second game of Wingspan. So we started Wingspan, the second game, and he was just finishing up the teach, and then they were done with this game before we finished Wingspan, which is a 25-minute game.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Spirit Island is not a 25-minute game.
Yeah. But when we play, like the caveat I have to say about this is, you have to have people that do cooperatively actually play together and look at how their positives and negatives. If you don't, you'll lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Toph, Ashby, and I play very well cooperatively because we all have something a little bit different. We all see something a little bit different, and then we're willing to, like, who can do this, who's better at getting this area, who's can do that, and we, like, look at it that way. If you're have an alpha game or you have something else, like, or you just like, I'm just going to do my thing, and
you will lose.
Like, you will absolutely lose.
And
you cannot play this like as an individual at all. Like, well, you can't.
You can't play it as an individual when you're playing with other people.
Right. Solo is different, but I'm just mean, like, if you're like me and Toph I couldn't just like, I'm going to handle this little area for the whole game and you handle that area. That won't work either. Like, you have to look at, like, who can, what, where, when. So,
yeah.
But this is a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun.
Spirit Island, I was surprised. I like it so much more than I thought I would. Yeah. Good games. So that was our list of games from number 50 to 41 of our top 100 games. Tell us what you thought. Did our games mesh? Did you like them? Do you agree that I lose a lot of board games?
Yeah, we all lose a lot of board games.
I know. That's why we're better.
Some of you don't. Some of you just kick the crap out of me.
Do you agree that Ark Nova is not that good? That's what we really want to know.
There's a very few people that are on your side with that.
Nope. Off the list. But anyways, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do so, because we would love to have you joining us for future videos. And continuing on in this series, we want you to be able to pick up the rest of our lists and let us know what your lists are as well.
And just remember, no matter how you play, whether it's solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a great night.